30 seconds. And I think we are good there. Yes. Live. Okay, good. We are golden. All right. Fantastic to see everyone again. Thank you for everyone showing up here. Took a little break last week and he put out a little treat there. Hope everyone got that and was able to take a look at that. Anyways, so we are live. We are here in Zoom and we are being. So thank you everyone for attending our weekly Coherence Meditation. For everyone over in Facebook and YouTube. Well, actually, Facebook is actually redirected over to YouTube because Facebook has some live stream modifications they've recently done, and we don't know what their direction is for allowing people to restream onto the platform. Anyways, so thank you everyone for attending our weekly Coherence Meditation. For everyone not aware, we do hold these Coherence Meditations every week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Our live here is on Zoom, so feel free to join us over here on Zoom at this link right over here. freedomsnap.org/Seth is where you can find that Zoom link, as well as some other links such as the newsletter, which we are currently merging into our new newsletter system, and a calendar that you can add to your device so you get the immediate notifications every week on Tuesday. We do restream to YouTube. Fortunately, Facebook, like I said, is temporarily down, but we do have a link for Facebook linking over to YouTube. And let's see here. So be sure to join that newsletter over on freedomsnap.org/Seth. But we also have right up here, we got this brand new site Seth has put together. It's I'mAwakeNowWhat.com. It's also SethLeaf.com. If you want to shorten that. And he's also got a newsletter up there, and he's got a free book. Do take advantage of that. Hop on there, grab that free book. If you want the hard copy, you just need to pay shipping on that. So please check that out. So the format of our Coherence Meditations, first 10 to 15 minutes, we have our brief intro and maybe a brief discussion, and we will end it. We will go directly into Coherence Meditation and allow everyone to we'll end it prematurely sometimes and allow everyone to kind of stay in that trance and drop off to from the Zoom if they want to continue that on their own. So we do encourage everyone to do this as a daily practice. Just take a little time out each day. Our recordings, in case you do miss it, are available over here on our YouTube channel, which is Cosmic Gaia Community. Last week's title, I should say 2 weeks ago, was World Illumination. It was Lighting Up Hearts on World Meditation Day. And this week, we have a title, and this is hard to say 10 times really fast, but Shedding Selfish Narcissism and Narcissists by Sustaining Selflessness. Say that 10 times, man. I don't know. That's funny you came up with that, man.
I try to make the tongue twisters,
Man, that was
part of the
hard. That was a
lesson.
hard one. But if you do have a topic in mind, please do comment below on the video, and we will certainly add that to our queue and hopefully get your topic involved there. So anyway, get some water, get comfortable, relax, and let's get this party started. So, Seth, how the heck are you, man?
I'm great, doing wonderful, busy as can be, but it's a labor of love, so I'm just like, and something really important too for everybody. If you're creating a new habit, or you're coming to these meditations, or I'm making one of the short meditations and you're making a habit of it, or maybe you're playing guitar or you're writing or whatever you want to do to create a habit. If you intentionally smile and feel the feeling of your smile while you're practicing something, that energy will be in the habit. And so then as soon as you pick up the guitar or pencil you feel that, oh, I love this. This is fun. It's great. And the more you do it, the more you want to do it because your body loves that feeling of coherence and connection. So that's just a little tidbit I wanted to throw in there.
I completely agree. Sorry to barge in, but you know what? I told you just prior to this call, I have um, a Mind Valley membership subscription. But one of the things they have a program on there. It's the I forgot her name, but it's the 80-20 rule. So
Hmm.
we've all heard that, but we're talking about 80-20 rule as far as getting your energy and your vibrational state and your frequencies up, above. I mean, you're putting out there in the ether is also what you're going to receive. So exactly that. And also, I forgot to mention your short meditations. Let everybody know about those as well.
Yeah. So those, for those who don't know, because we've been doing this, what, 14 months now, you and I on this?
Just about, man.
So almost every week for the past 14 months, which is awesome. We're psyched that it went this long, and now we're really starting to feel momentum. But throughout the whole time, I can't even tell you how many people have reached out that are like, look, I love the meditations, but I just don't have, 45 minutes to an hour and a half at that time. And then, they'll do the replay of it, which do that for sure. But that came up so many times that I was like, you know what? I'm going to make short meditations because they're not even really a meditation. It's coherence. It's very different, right? Like mindfulness meditation is, there's so many different types of meditations, and a lot of them are very mind focused. You're letting go of who you think you are. You're just like trying not to think all this stuff, but it doesn't include the heart. Some do, but nothing includes the heart like heart brain coherence. And when they're connected like that, you can get into a state of coherence just like that, breathing rhythmically, smiling, feeling it, getting your body so calm that you can feel your heartbeat. That's all it takes. So when you get into that, then meditation becomes a lot more fruitful. It actually makes meditation easier because you're in tune with what you are, what we all are. And all the world leaders think they have something to say, right? Your soul, your energy, your force of reality has got way more to say than all of them together. So to get in tune with what your body's doing, to get your thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, and actions in tune, in harmony with your life force as it's in harmony with itself, except for when we're stressed out and we're just dumping stress onto it. It goes off, but it has a default state. If we shut down, our bodies know what they're doing. They keep running. So when we are active participants in encouraging that internal coherence, the more the actual intelligence of the life force itself begins to become more apparent. And I say that to people sometimes, and they're like, well, is it intelligent like we are? And it's like, well, you know, I don't I don't really like look at myself as intelligent. I've always known that there's way more going on than I can perceive at all. But the times that I did feel like I might know something is when I'm in coherence, when I'm in this connected state of being. I find that all these things that are in the subconscious or the unconscious, when you're in coherence, all that stuff starts to surface. And then you're like, oh, wow, you do it long enough and you get good at it. Every thought, every single answer to every question that you and that anybody has ever asked, it's there. And so when we get in touch with that intelligence that is allowing us to even be aware in the first place, when we get in tune with that, we begin to remember why we're here, why we're doing this. It's wild, but it is. It's literally, it's like nature. It is wild. The more we embrace that and be in it and be with it, the more it begins to not only, it's already animating our body, but the more it emits this frequency of you knowing yourself as this life force, it gets bigger and bigger and it spreads out further and further. And at the same time, you become hyper aware of all the little points of connection that are already in your body. I mean, you can go subatomic to the degree where you can feel how every atom of your body is all working together with all the bigger systems. And it is just I don't even know how to say it. It's not mind blowing. It's like, it's just unbelievable. It's like, it's almost like it's too much information for us to process in our normal waking state. But when we get in harmony, when we get into chaos, I mean, into coherence, we do that, chaos begins to diminish and we start becoming really aware and really aware of this healing power that we are, this frequency of reality that it wants to live, it wants to grow, it wants to evolve. And, you know, for all we know, like, what if I'm the only one experiencing all of this? Or what if you are, Greg, right? You could say that about anybody. What do you really know if this is your own trip, your own perception? And if it was, then specific significance to certain feelings and behaviors and beliefs start to get roused up, starts to like kick up the muck from the bottom of your being, all this old gray matter of the brain, all the DNA of the body, all this stuff starts to begin to communicate to you through you, and your ability to evolve becomes obvious. And it feels so incredible that, you know, for me, I'm like, why would I even want to do anything other than this? And I've had really difficult times in the past too, where I've literally said, like, going through heartbreak, all these things that can happen to all of us and that do happen to us. When we get into this space, I would say to it, like, I'm not moving. I am sitting in this chair. I am not going to move until I am moved. When you do that and you begin to commune with your life force like that, and you build trust and faith, it will move you. When it's time, it will move you. So anyway, that was a total detour of what we're talking about here. But, you know, I've thought about this a lot with narcissism and borderline personality and all these different mental conditions, right? That just happen to have drugs, countless drugs for all of them. All of those things create such dysfunction in human consciousness that when we abuse it, we begin to get these really highly intelligent, potentially intelligent parts of us. They become stuck in these lower frequencies because anything that we individually think about over and over and over, we are intentionally giving our energy to the thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, actions, the neural networks, the neural pathways of our body. And the more we give the more we take our behavior and we focus on it, the more we create it into reality, literally. So it's interesting too, because I spent time in prison, as some of you know. And when I was out of prison, people would talk about all these narcissists and gaslighting and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I can see that for sure. You know, there's different levels and extremities of it. But when I was in there, it wasn't just narcissists or sociopaths. There's psychopaths, literal psychopaths, predatory men who you'd cross the street to get away from them. But when they get in there, they have no, because you're all together in this environment. And so none of them have any choice but to be who they are. And with all the tough guy acts and routines, once all that is gone, because you're just in this place all the time with people, they show you who they really are. And every single one of them was a little kid who got abused or traumatized or hurting or beaten or whatever. Just name any amount of trauma or drama that affects people. And so looking at that in an environment like that was really eye-opening, because when I would interact with these guys, I would judge them immediately, like, oh, I'm not going to look at you, I'm going to get away. When I see, even though their behavior is scary, their wounding is so deep that no one's going to give them time for a way to process this. No one cares about them. They're the drugs of society, and they stay in dysfunction. And that's why the recidivism rates of men and women who they're in prison for a long time, they get out, they go right back. That is a reality, because the world doesn't take these guys, or so they believe. And so when I would watch them, when I would observe them, and same thing in the regular world too, because yeah, we do have psychopaths. We do have narcissist personality disorder. We do have borderline personality disorder. We have every kind of thing there ever was, and people are all around. And there's different levels of it. And the ones who are, having narcissistic qualities is different from having a narcissistic personality disorder, right? It's kind of the same behavior, but it's just two really polarized parts of the condition. So my point in saying all this is that when one chooses to be the observer of their own life and interact with others who society tells us they're whatever they are, I begin to notice, like, I have my own narcissistic issues, my own mental health issues. Everybody does. But is it at the scale of total disorder? No, it's not, but it's there. And you can see how some people who just keep getting abused, or they never heal, or they just keep going through dysfunction, they end up in there as psychopaths. But it was, at one point, it was the same thing, probably just like some baseline narcissistic, self-oriented way of perceiving reality that is a coping mechanism, actually, for a lot of people. But when that goes unchecked, it gets worse and worse and worse, and it turns into a full disorder. And that's not even considering like all the karmic implications of why people are the way they are. But why this is exciting, and I'll stop talking soon because I really feel like a lot of this will get conveyed while we meditate anyway. But it's so powerful because when we take radical responsibility for how we perceive reality, we start to realize that we are a reflection of everybody and everything. And the more we can make peace with that from the inside out, the less the hooks of it continue to slow our momentum down, to slow our evolutionary impulse of life down. It's like entities or parasites or whatever. You make peace, doesn't have a whole lot to grip onto, because the coherence of reality is way bigger than the chaos that so many are temporarily addicted to. So how did we get to all be narcissists? We grew up in a world that teaches us that it's all about me, 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 me. And this is my life, and this is what I focus on, and this is what I want, and that's what I want. It all ties back to consumerism, to religion, to not all of them, to, politics, all these things that people begin to identify themselves as being that. They literally, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And they create this sense of self that is socially indoctrinated. And the problem with me, 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 me is it doesn't include we, right? Because if you got a whole bunch of people focusing on the same products and focusing on the same kind of social activities, then it creates tribalism. Oh, I don't like that person. They're different than me. You know, all that stuff comes in, and that's where division happens. But when we can begin to take responsibility for the realization that these base impulses that every single one of us have are all part of our journey into this world and through it. And when we can move beyond that wounded little kid, then we can begin to take responsibility, not just for healing ourselves and moving forward, but for the we. We literally, through our own healing, recognize that the me can help the we. And that's where it gets really fascinating, because if a whole bunch of us are healing from that part of our journey into the world, and now more than ever it's happening, but if enough of us have that experience together, it creates so many more possibilities that are primed of individuals ready to break free of who they think they are and become completely in tune with this life force. Again, this is what's communicating. This is where all the information really is. And it's trying to not just communicate to us as individuals, it's doing it collectively, whether we're conscious of it or not. And so when we begin to become conscious, oh, I love it. Those hearts. Look, you guys know where I'm going with this. We together, with a bunch of individuals taking responsibility for how we perceive reality, being gentle with ourselves, because yeah, there's all kinds of terrible things that happen to so many of us. But when we beat ourselves up for it, we delay our own healing. So let's shut our eyes and make sure that wherever you are comfortable. You can sit down, you can lay down, get into any kind of position that is most comfortable for you. And so wherever you are, you're relaxed. You're paying attention to see if there's anything in your body that might be causing a little bit of resistance. And so overall, your body is relaxed. And there might be little parts of you that aren't relaxed or that is in pain. But when you get your overall being relaxed, then the pain or stress or the resistance becomes comforted by a blanket of calm, coherence. So you could say that the pain or the stress is its own minor form of chaos, sometimes a massive form of chaos. But if the rest of the being is incoherence, meaning person is consciously aware of the life force that they are and how it aligns with every single bit of every part of our body, and that we have the ability to be aware of all this in a way that is incredibly empowering. So allow yourself to be that sea of coherence. Allow whatever it is that's bothering you, your chaos. Let yourself be fully present of it. If you're afraid to look at it, if it creates pain when you try to work on this part or these parts of yourself, be aware of that and comfort yourself so that you can say, you know what? I am intentionally going to go deep into whatever it is that's bothering me, because the rest of me is able to be at peace. And so the full feelings of your own pain, your own belief systems, are protected in a much bigger container of your beautiful body, this beyond genius, innate, intelligent, bioelectromagnetic life force that knows what it's doing to degrees that we are not even capable of knowing until we are in alignment with it. So you're totally relaxed. Just notice your breathing, just a little slower. Few seconds on the inhale, few seconds on the exhale. Just want to be aware. You're voluntarily choosing to become aware of an involuntary process through your nervous system. Your lungs are breathing, even if you're not paying attention. And so when you pay attention and you do it selflessly, meaning you are choosing to be selfish in the best way ever. You are taking time out of your life to focus on your relationship with this life force. And it's probably the most healthy thing that you could be doing, that any of us could be doing. And the more we selfishly focus on this relationship, the more selfless we become. Because rather than staying stuck in a prison of mental and emotional incarceration, we are beginning to be aware of the very life force that enables us to be aware. And from that place, our selflessness becomes self-evident. What is selflessness? In this context, we are talking about the harmony, both rooted in who you are, who you think you are, and what you are. So that means there's this person who's in their own little prison that they created just because it seemed normal. And that's what most everybody else does. It's been normalized. We just think that's what we do. That's how we live. And if we keep doing that, we box ourselves in more and more. The prison cell becomes smaller and smaller. And we don't even realize that we are the ones that made it that way. Yes, the world is projecting all of this into reality. Yes, we do pick up on all these messages all around us all the time about who we're supposed to be. But when we begin to focus on what we are, then who we are or who we've become starts coming unraveled. Because what we are is so much bigger than who we think we are. And when we choose to get objective, taking time out of our day, choosing to be selfish in the best way ever, we're making a choice that our life and health depends on. And when we face ourselves, we begin to remember and recall our suffering, our abuse, our abusers, all of the painful things that have happened in our life that for the most part we intentionally try to avoid or bypass or ignore. It doesn't make that stuff go away. It actually just continues to reinforce the sense of self that feels disconnected from reality. This little eeny teeny weeny sense of self that has been taught to focus selfishly on me, 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 me. And what else would it do? If everybody else around us is doing it, then it must be what we're supposed to do, right? But the more we choose to intentionally become conscious of this profound innate intelligence that we are, that's what's going on, number one. And when we explore that part of ourselves with the part of ourselves that has been hurt or is suffering or that is wounded, when we take the part of us that has been hurt and we begin to open up that little prison cell and allow the living force of nature that we are to start becoming free, free of us shutting it off, intentionally creating a small view perspective of reality because it's just what we do. And so when we begin to open up, take the part of us, the little kid that needs nurturing and love, when you take that part of you that maybe hurts too much and you begin to expose it to this life force, and from there you begin to integrate it consciously, because it's already all integrated. The only missing ingredient is us being aware of that. So all we're doing is just relaxing. We're allowing our entire being to focus on doing what it does. Our nervous systems, they run the whole show in our body. And we get to look at that together instead of being stuck in all the things that keep us stuck. For these moments, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to allow our body and life force to run the show, and we get to observe it, to look at it from a different angle of being relaxed. Just like gravity, just like artificial radio waves, just like any force in this world that is there, but invisible. This force of nature that animates our bodies is also invisible only to the degree that we are. And so when that expansive awareness begins to realize how interconnected it is, and how from that place we allow our awareness to remember what it has always known, to remember what it has forgotten temporarily. When we get into that space, this invisible field of hyper intelligent awareness in harmony with the natural world, with nature, and that is also our inner nature. When we get in tune with that, we're able to feel the power of being harmonized and connected to nature through our inner nature. And when we begin to feel how connected we are by everything around us, when we feel that connection, we start being that connection. And that includes being supported by all of these invisible organic forces of nature, all the different frequencies and vibrations and sounds of everything here, everything in the natural world, everywhere in space, all the celestial objects around us. Everything is communicating at all times. We just have accidentally, or you could say there's a deeper part of us that decided to go unconscious for a little bit. It can forget what is actually impossible to forget. and to regain our connection to reality, to this life force, so that we begin to trust nature from our own inner nature first and foremost. And so all we're doing is just getting back in tune with what has always been there. And then all of the social indoctrination or belief systems or any of that stuff begins to lose its hooks. How can any of that exist in a world that is infinite compared to its small, almost like a mosquito, but less unpleasant? When we take the part of us that is self-oriented from a place of disconnection, that's how we get stuck in conditions. When we take the part of ourself that is stuck, and we keep staying in that loop, we create a habit of doing the very same thing that we're used to doing, and we literally hardwire ourselves to stay in this hiccup in time, this brief moment of amnesia where we have pretended to have forgotten that we are all, always, everything, everyone. And we allow ourselves to be in harmony with all the physical, celestial bodies and living beings of this world. When we allow ourselves to be in harmony with that, it's not about me anymore. Me and we become selflessly integrated into the part of you that has always known this unconditionally, that for a few moments has forgotten. So your body's relaxed, your breathing is gentle. Put a smile on your face, just a small one, and feel that feeling. And whatever your smile and the feeling it creates is, notice if you can find out where you're feeling that effect the most. So you have a little smile, you feel it makes you happy, but you're looking to see if you can feel where you're feeling that in your body. Maybe it's in your head, maybe it's in your heart, maybe it's in your toes. Just see if you can feel where the feeling of your smile is anchored into you. And so you're relaxed, you're breathing gently, rhythmically. You have a smile on your face, and you're feeling that smile in your body. See if you're able to feel your heartbeat. We have all these other elements in place, relaxed, breathing, smiling and feeling it. From that place, see if you can feel your heartbeat. Because with all these other elements, and then being able to feel your heartbeat from this container that is already there, but that you have a part in creating for yourself right now. And when you can feel your heartbeat in your chest, you can begin to start feeling your pulse everywhere in your body. Your toe, finger, your eardrum. If you can feel the heartbeat in your chest, you can begin to take action to increase your ability to feel the pulse anywhere and everywhere in your body. And with these elements all in place that you intentionally created, see if you can find that little bit of chaos or the bunch of chaos. Maybe it's severe trauma from something so powerful in your past that it made a mark. It branded you. It caused you to feel so shocked at the time. Or maybe it kept happening over and over, and you just shut down yourself. You created a little tiny world so that you can dwell in it without having to focus on the pain that's still there, but that you bypass because you don't know how that's going to heal. However, when you get all these elements in place, rhythmic breathing, relaxed body, feeling your smile in your body, feeling your heartbeat, when all of that is in coherence and you can sustain it from that place, when you begin to revisit whatever this pain or whatever this issue that happened to you once or hundreds or thousands of times, whatever it is that has hurt your self-esteem, hurt your sense of self-worth, when you get into with the sea of coherence that is you in your body, with your awareness, in tune with your own inner nature and the rest of the natural world that is connected to all of it. When you feel your troubles from that place, feel it fully, really talk to it, tell it that you're ready to feel it, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how many other memories get activated by you doing this. The more you do this process, facing the totality of all your issues amidst a sea of energy, of coherence that is universal, that we could say is divine. All of your suffering, when brought to the forefront of your awareness, while we're focused on what we are, all that pain really was just there to teach you how to love greater than you struggle, to begin to have faith in your own life force, no matter how traumatic what you went through is. When you face all that seems to be in your way from the place of connectivity that is your birthright, that has always been there, unconditionally. This is how our narcissism, or the part of us that is selfish because of traumas that we didn't know how to deal with. We are both self and selfless. And bringing all these elements together allows us to be aware of how integrated they really are. And the more you focus on that and feel it, the more you begin to be it. And then with eyes of empathy and compassion, you're able to see and feel and know the suffering of others, whether they're right around you at home or on another planet. When you get in tune with what you are, you literally become space. But with life, you're rooted into reality. And you are hyper aware of the expansive nature of reality. And your heart is there in the middle to love you and love life as you go through it, to feel compassion for those all around, no matter how terrible we perceive them as being. This world is one big, giant accounting system. Nothing goes unchecked. And the only way to face this and become successful through it, to not get audited lifetime after lifetime, experience after experience. We make peace with it, and everything is accounted for. And we get to be in our totality. And that means you can be or do anything. Anything. And it is endorsed by the source of your life force. And this is our gift to each other and the world. So stay in this place. If you weren't able to get as far as you'd hoped, it's okay. Now you have a roadmap. And you can keep practicing. And when you get into that place where everything is aligned with the part of you that you know is a miracle, like rare celestial events, when all of those parts of ourself become aligned with the greater whole, the more these self-evident miracles just appear. And we get to be in love with them, or to learn from them, no matter how challenging. And so if you want to keep practicing, just hang up. Just be as calm and peaceful as you can, and drink water after this. And everybody else, let's do what we always do. Take your hands, rub them together, create friction, and then put the palms of your hands over your eyes. And it literally is like becoming the waves of an ocean of infinity. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Please share this with anybody who you feel would benefit from it. Give yourself a pat on the back. Just watch Greg, he's got it down. So please share this, and we'll see you guys next time. And in the meantime, we have all these meditations that we're doing, these short ones. A lot is coming. We're on a mission. The millionth monkey. We kind of did some math. 100 monkey, yeah, but let's go for 1 million. Let's get 1 million people doing this regularly together.
Aim big. Change that mindset. Reprogram. Keep on shedding, guys. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Seth.
Guys, next time.
See you guys next week.